Welcome to a new episode of Books Review podcast by Dreamer's Jotter. Today, I review the book Why Don't You Write Something I Might Read? Written by Suresh Menon. Just before putting my pen to paper, actually, it is my fingers on the keyboard, an article in The Hindu, an English daily, titled Test Cricket Will Probably Disappear First in the West Indies caught my eye. The author justified his argument by providing reasons spanning sports, history, economics, geography, and politics. As I wondered who this brilliant columnist was, it was none other than Suresh Menon. Such genius can only be acquired by reading hundreds, if not thousands of books. This is a book on books, and their authors, their stories, struggles, sacrifices, and styles of writing, a collection of clear and independent essays sprinkled with occasional news article-sized pieces called short takes. It starts with love of the author for books, and how he spent his childhood counting, arranging, and reading them. He discusses all things books, genres from murder mysteries to science, authors from the Indian subcontinent to the US and Russia, bookstores in Bangalore, and libraries in Chennai. But the most engaging are the chapters on well-known Indian authors. One of the perks of being a journalist is that Suresh could even meet some authors such as V.S. Naipaul and V.S. Ramachandran. Being a sports writer and aficionado, Suresh knows the depths of the sports world, especially cricket. Have you ever wondered how celebrities, particularly movie stars and sportspersons, can be so articulate in their autobiographies? Now I learnt that many hire ghostwriters to write in their stead. Suresh admitted that he ghostwrote books and news articles for some of the most popular cricketers in the world. You have to read the book to find out who these cricketers are. English is the only language many urban Indians know apart from their mother tongue. It is particularly true if you are from South India. Naturally, most of them get accustomed to reading books only in English, and the author and I are embarrassed to admit it. There always has been a disagreement over the use of sophisticated versus simple vocabulary in prose. I am surprised to learn that many disregarded R.K. Narayan for his simple style and vocabulary. Even I used to look at such authors with disdain. But what is ultimately important is that your readers should enjoy your writing. Probably, it is why Narayan has been a legend even after almost a century after he created Malgudi town. The book talks about many incredible authors. Did you know that Proust wrote his only novel for 2 decades? Chopsky, a Polish artist and author, kept the spirits of his fellow Soviet prison camp inmates alive by lecturing on Proust's writings, relying only on his memory. He could narrate whole passages from Proust's books. Suresh also doesn't shy away from deriding the works of some popular authors such as Paulo Coelho and Chetan Bhagat. And, I don't disagree. There is also an issue with a lot of Indian writers. Suresh says, quote, "They are sought out for their opinions of subjects beyond their ken," unquote. We see many authors daily getting invited on TV shows to debate topics on which they have zero knowledge. Mythological fiction writers teach history lessons on live TV. Everybody is an expert on economics and politics. Suresh introduces us to a few remarkable Pakistani writers. He even declares the next generation of the best writers from the Indian subcontinent, after Salman Rushdie and Vikram Seth, are from Pakistan. A legend has grown that Nadim Aslam, a Pakistani writer, secluded himself by draping his windows with black curtains, and immersed in writing his second novel with little or no human activity. Perhaps, such great works demand such sacrifices. I discovered new families of literary works that are very important for the literature world to flourish. First, books on books and authors. Books like this one make new generations of readers aware of great historical literary works and their authors. Second, rethink, a new take on an existing literary work by reimagining an alternative view at some point in the storyline. For example, what would have happened had Ravana not kidnapped Sita? Third, critique, critics help readers figure out if the book is worth a read. Suresh enumerates Updike's 5 rules for a good critic. Fourth, translations, an invaluable tool to spread the joy and knowledge of written words written in one language to the people around the world with its multitudes of languages and cultures that influence them. Many authors are known to have addictions, especially to drinking. It is also applicable for journalists. Suresh himself says that, quote, "We drink because it was seen as necessary for the creative life," unquote. Alcohol is a relaxation and a friend in solitude. Ernest Hemingway is notorious for his drinking habits. Fortunately, he wasn't drunk while he was writing. Apart from these self-afflictions, several authors suffered from long-term illnesses. Ved Mehta, an Indian-born writer, was blind since he was a child. Shakespeare's hands used to shake. Probably the emotional depth needed for their art is derived from their sufferings. Suresh says, quote, "Perhaps illness was a necessary condition for literary genius to flower." Unquote. A human being, unlike her fellow living organisms, faces not only physiological, but also political illnesses inflicted by those in power directly or indirectly. Some document their hardships as they migrate to escape political and economic instabilities at home, while some are forced to leave home for their writings on these instabilities. The Kite Runner and Other Novels by Khaled Hosseini, and Cain and Abel by Jeffrey Archer are a few books I read that portray the ordeals refugees face during and after their escape. No book on books completes without talking about R.K. Narayan from India and George Orwell from Britain. Animal Farm is the first work that I have ever read that, as Orwell himself said, fuses political purpose and artistic purpose into one whole. While Suresh admires the simple style of his prose, he also opines that it might be one of the reasons he did not get the Nobel. I think you agree that Orwell contributed more to literature than Obama did to peace. This book, with its witty titles such as Sex and the Pity, and Master of the Falsely Profound, is a treat for everyone, from a connoisseur of books wanting to know their favorite authors more intimately, to Gen Z teens trying to move away from social networks to the world of literature by learning about great books and why they offer unparalleled joy to the readers. For more reviews, log on to dreamerschatter.com, or check the description. Thank you for listening. Bye.